Greetings, my fellow dragon riders. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Dragon's Prophecy, Episode 3, Prison for the Paralyzed. Alright, Zilla, it would be nice. I mean, I like tea, but it would be nice for us to get 5 meals back. So now that we are starting to get tea, let's have a new drug policy of social drugs. And I'm going to have it be very conservative so that we don't, partake too harsh. So beer every 2 days, ambrosia, not that we have any, let's say every 3, Psychic tea every 2 days, and then only if mood is below, let's say 60 for beer, and 80 for tea, or yeah, 80. And ambrosia will do 75, and set everyone up on social drug policies. And Zilla's like, ooh, tea. Swig. Bye, Druidic Vine. Thank you for killing monkeys for me. Anytime I need help, I'll call on you for monkey business. So we've got 4 out of the 20 grass we need. It's a start. Also looks like electricity will be next after I finish up draconic drug production. So the jeweled orchids are very fussy plants to grow. They require more light than most plants, which means that their growing time during a typical day is shorter, because during dawn and dusk, when normal plants can grow at 50% light level, the jeweled orchids have a light level requirement of 75%, which means that instead of growing from like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., they grow from like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or something like that. So a little bit fussier. Just a little bit. Okay, Tati is almost done finding the western edge of this zone. This is taking a lot longer than I suspected. It's an obscene amount of crops? I mean, it's a lot of crops, sure. But have you ever tried to feed a dragon? Dragons eat an obscene amount of food, so... Oh, new lovers. Zilla and Lady Shell. Please be an excellent bed. Is it corn time? Yes. I think it's corn time after we harvest the rice. It's an excellent bed. Okay, 3 bedrooms, not 4. Do I have... Oh, I have work drive again. So instead of work driving a researcher, I'm going to work drive Tati, because Tati has a lot of work to do. I probably have had work drive off cooldown for a while now. Oh, listen to that. Music to my ears. Once we get a dragon, I can show you their diets. Humans are part of their diets. Yep. It's part of the lore of why the... Oh, goats. Nice. I will analyze you guys, because that's rare. It's part of the reason why in lore they're being killed off. Is that the dragons are at the top of the food chain, and, well, humans don't like that. So... the humans have been hunting dragons. I'm not keeping these goats. Goats are going to get slaughtered, so I'm raffling them off. FY to the eye. I just want to bring them over here with an animal handler, which I think is Lady Shell. So I'm going to have Lady Shell go and drag the goats over. And we'll analyze one of them, and then we'll slaughter them. Okay, we have just about found the western extent of this zone, which is going to allow me to start planning out the kitchen. Unless, of course, this like goes into a hidden cave complex, but I somehow doubt it. And Judea, what is... You're hungry. And you have an awful bedroom. Okay. I'm low on meat. And looking at these goats, they sure look tasty. So, analyzed and now slaughtered. Do goats produce milk? In their living form, they do. These goats are a little dead. I also don't know the gender of the goats. I kind of just killed them off. And yeah, it was a wall of overhead mountain. So, I think the plan is going to have like a kitchen here in this area, which leaves the dining room in this area. So have dining along this edge. I think it would be wise to move this bedroom so that there's not a lot of foot traffic on the dirt. Basically, I have to design this base so that people don't walk across this farm field very often. Which means, ooh, ambrosia sprout. Which means having a path to the south and a path to the north to go around this thing. So basically designing the inner farm to be physically isolated from the rest of the colony, just to limit the filth that I have. Because I don't really want it super filthy. 18. Well, let's paint. Ambrosia is really nice. Especially for travels. I don't have freezers yet, but like, we'll get them. I'm trying not to put trees in this zone. Oh, I missed one. Okay, that looked good. Name it Ambrosia 1. And I'm sort of just curious how it connects down here. Because that allows me to move the kitchen a little bit as well. Depending on the dimensions. Yep, so it does path over there. And it ends there. Okay, cool. So now I have a pretty good concept of what the layout can be. Good. That's a lot of work put in. You better butcher those goats before they spoil. I think I'm going to expand the butcher zone just a little bit so it covers the pen marker. So I am at 12% species. Okay. It's not bad. It's almost a quarter of the way there. I think I can probably safely assume there's no overhead mountain in this area either. So then we have this sort of nook down here. Maybe it will be good for like a hospital or lab or something like that. There's a kind of a functional reason to have a hospital closer to the entryway. So maybe we move the hospital up there and have this be like a research area or something like that. Then there's also how big this is. Because, you know, I don't really know where the overhead mountain goes. I just know that usually when it's revealed, you can spread a bit. We're up to 6 grass. We have a lot of tea. Almost done harvesting. And I think I'm not going to put in another plant plant sow for a bit so that someone like Judea can start to haul, because there's a lot of crops to be hauled. Quite a lot of crops. Okay, so Tati, instead of doing that, I want you mining this out. So I'm going to start preparing the kitchen area. Draconic drug production is done, and you guys voted for electricity next. So electricity is going to take a while. I'm not really planning on specific powered technologies. That will be left up to you guys. What I include in the power mix. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting rid of the steel, smoothing out the stone walls that are going to be behind marble walls. So once I'm done smoothing this out, I can put marble walls there, but it's still smooth behind it, which means that that I can embed cables and the like, which is better for kitchens. Because once you have the walls built, you can't really smooth after the fact. Okay, kind of looking at those goats rot. Zilla, I'm not really sure what Zilla's doing. I think he's so busy trying to make Psych IT. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the ingredient radius for Psych IT so it doesn't keep running over here for leaves. So either the leaves get hauled or they don't. There we go. And that's exactly what was happening. Ooh, herbal. Alright, we are getting the dimensions of the kitchen down. I can smooth out the rest of the walls later. So then, I think what I'll do is I will have, in this kitchen, a southern door here. Actually, maybe I'll put the door there. A marble wall across like this, with the idea that once we have air conditioning, I'll put ACs in here that vent out to some sort of chimney. So this will be our kitchen area. Means it's a lot of cleaning and construction. Also, probably best if I do wood doors for now that open and close more quickly. Important reminder, I'm waiting for the rice to be hauled away before sowing anything else, so that it doesn't rot in the open. I could caravan it, I suppose, but I'm just going to wait for them to haul it. Lady Shell, don't forget your mandated meditation time. So we're about a third of the way there. Lola, thank you for the resub. Watching me has always brought you peace. Well, I appreciate that. That's really sweet. So there is a dead capybara out here that we just need to finish off. Oh, just died. And a transport crash of Graham. Are you tribal? You are tribal. Too smart, sanguine, pretty, 62 years old. And obviously a pretty good brawler, shooter, artist. Yeah, absolutely. We don't at the moment have a place to put you. But I'll make it. Oh, come on, wood. Okay, well, I'm about to have a raffle. We have to, by the rules of this series, I have to convert her first. before we accept her. So she has to go through a conversion. She believes in the ideologies of the ancient soldiers, which is odd because she's tribal, but, you know, whatever. It's not for me to judge. So I'll roof up her little bedroom. Medically tend to her. And get her to convert. Almost done with the kitchen zone. Oh, we're starting to get potatoes. So Graham, convert. So your current ideology, I don't believe has any... Actually, you're too smart. So your global certainty loss factor will affect your conversion. There's also the quest, should I host a guest for a great bow? Because I know that I hadn't pulled for this, so I'm going to put only 60 seconds on here. It's to host someone named Fluff for 5 days who's paralyzed. Being paralyzed is actually a bit of an advantage because she can't go wandering around where she doesn't belong. But it means that we have to feed someone for 5 days for a great bow. And then there's a new quest, Theophrax Prisoners. That sounds like it's a royal. And again, it's a paralyzed person that we have to keep. And someone named Smooth would join us, who's a budding artist, Misandrous Night Owl, who would also need to convert. So I'll have you vote on both of those things. You really hate your bedroom, don't you? Okay, the yeses win by a single. So if they're a guest, I can move this hand tailor bench and put her up here somewhere. Actually, I could put her in the research room. Well, but it's the research room, so that's a bit of a problem. Yep, I'll have to sort of shove her in there. There's nothing in this stockpile. Like, uranium is just ore that we found in the mountain, so there's nothing in this stockpile that screams, we're not actually tribal. So I think that's probably fine. Oh, what about the prisoner? Should we accept the prisoner quest? So again, it is 6 days for someone named Smooth, who is a misandrist night owl art and plants to join. She is tribal, but she belongs to the Hive of Eldritch, which is a insectoid worshipping hive society. So should we accept the prisoner quest? Yes or no? And then another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a new zone, which is guests. Where the guests are only going to be allowed in here. Actually, I don't... A part of me feels like I should even have them away from the research bench. But research isn't in itself rule violating or anything like that. Because that's a low-tech research bench. It's a tribal bench. All right, Tati, let's have you get ready for the first paralytic Abbasia guest. Nope. Keep working on that bed. Okay. Except for the great bow. Of course, I can't be held accountable for when they drop right into my colony, but at least, you know, they are where they belong. And your food restrictions is going to be meals only. In fact, you should probably be meals only as well. The defaults is going to be no meds for anyone by default. How many times are you going to bring wood over here and not build this lamp? Or torch? Jesus. That means that Judea or Lady Shell will be wardening and doctoring Fluff here. And then Fluff, your zoning, just in case you magically get cured of paralychnopasia, is going to be set to guests. And it looks like you guys want the prisoner quest as well. So I think what I'm going to do is jury-rig this old hunk of junk to accommodate a prisoner. So that's a Tati. Here, stop playing Hoopstone. And start getting ready to build a little prison cell there. This prisoner is also paralyzed, but again, they could get up. So in the case that they do, I ought to have a prison cell that is secured away. Whereas Graham, if Graham breaks out of here and discovers that we are high-tech, I have to kill her. Or recapture her to make sure that she joins us. Taking those rules very seriously. So, yes, we will be accepting. And then the quest rewards for the prisoner quest can only be for smooth. So there is no other options because the other options are high-tech options. Move stone blocks outside. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move stone blocks inside with the still zone. That way they're not taking up precious area. I might need to do a high priority hauling pretty soon, just because... In fact, Lady Shell, I think I'll do that for you. I'll just have Lady Shell be a high priority hauler for a bit. Oh, we're getting raided. Just one dude with a gun up north, and 3 with guns down south. Another thing that I'm going to want to set up pretty soon is once we have electricity, a smelter, because I can't sell guns to anyone. They're really only going to be good for me to melt down. So to that end, getting an electric smelter so that I can melt down the guns is top priority. I'm going to get my trap tunnels set up, and then everybody else is going to be forced inside. Tati, I'm going to allow you to finish that, though. Keep moving. Okay, if you're going to build it from the outside, finish it later. Splat! How much time do I have before the other group gets here? Where are they? Oh, yep, they're there. Okay, never mind. Don't go back out there yet. It's plenty safe for now. I don't really have a way to deal with the corpses, but we don't really care about corpses either. So I think what I'm going to do is just throw the corpses into this marsh. So that's fresh and rotten corpses that are human-like, that are not colonists, get tossed into this marsh and will be dealt with. Dead. Easy peasy. That's why we had the deadfall trap tunnel. All right, the other thing that I'm realizing is I'm going to slowly start to move my storage inside, because things like wake up and guns probably shouldn't be in the general stockpile. I'm not supposed to have those. So Lady Shell, our dedicated hauler, is making sure our torches are lit. This is going to be the prison cell. I'm going to need to move the granite blocks out of the door, propping it open, obviously. And then let's add that to the home zone as well. "34 days on the True Dragon Egg." I haven't done a lot of animal analysis, so we're going to have, oh no, I have many scans already. Nice. I was worried that there was going to be a mood penalty for that, but there isn't. I'm going to start moving things down here. It's technically outdoors, but that outdoors designation is going to change once I start roofing everything up. Because once 3/4 of the area is roofed up, it will be redesignated as inside. Yeah, these components will have to be hauled away. Rare thrumbos. Oh, I'd love thrumbo meat and fur. Little difficult, given how strong they are, for me to pick that fight, though. For now, we will do torch illumination here, but knowing that we will move over to electricity, that will be really nice. Scan the thrumbos? I will when they're asleep. I'm not going to try to chase a thrumbo while it's awake. They move a bit too fast. It's going to be annoying. Alright, is this... No, it's still outside. Oh, well, it's just because I don't have that door built. It'll be reclassified in just a minute. And we have almost half the grass we need. Bluff, how are you doing? Hideous environment. Yeah, I know. Also don't care, but I know. Beavis, thank you for the resub. Oh, Tati. Why you do this to me? There we go. It's still outside. Okay, so maybe I'll cut out the farming area. I mean, I had originally planned to do that anyway, but I will work towards that as a higher priority now. And the animal database, I'm just going to stick down here, sort of out of the way. Okay, I think we're ready for that prisoner. So, except for Smooth. Oh, there's two of them. I misread. I'm glad there wasn't more than two. I'm not exactly prepared to feed a host. And they're paralyzed, so I don't really need to keep them happy. I don't really care about their happiness. They can be in the dark, for all I care. I'm just gonna say, well, no, actually, I'll keep re-sowing the potatoes. So this rice, at this rate, is going to be ruined. So I am going to force haul everybody. Get the guns where the guns belong and get everything sort of moved away. In the dark, it might make it a little bit harder to feed them. My solution, honestly, would just be to unroof the whole thing, but I guess I can torch it up. I'll give them a little bit of light. Because if you're paralyzed, you can't have a psychotic break. Or, like, not one that matters. Can't really go anywhere, right? We did let a capybara rot. I hadn't really planned on dealing with rotted corpses. I should be better about butchering them when we have them hunted. So I will queue up additional animals to be hunted and then just be more careful about it. Tortoise, rat, chinchilla. I guess the boomalopes, if it's raining, are close enough by that I can hunt them. And maybe I'll just go over there with Zilla, Lady Shell, and Tati and do some manual. What I wanted to try to do is to get a rhino analysis. Got it. And then do a alpaca analysis if I can. And then hunt them. Got that too. So because I have 3 extra mouths to feed, some hunting is in order. I'll leave that last boomalope alone. Oh, sorry about the lack of a pet Yoda. Hi, buddy. I apologize. Oh, it's, apparently it was prayer hour. Meditation hour. Definitely messed that up. And we're up to 10 grass, so halfway there. How's his skin doing? It's still a little scabby, but it's pretty good. He's not in any pain. I suppose that's the important part. Who is starving? Fluff? That's just because we're force hauling everyone, so I'm going to reduce that. Lady Shell, you can go back to research. And feeding Fluff. He is not Fluff the Magic Dragon, by the way. He's just Fluff. Marriage is on. Wow, that didn't take very long. Graham, because of Too Smart, is going to be very, very hard to convert, I think. I mean, I'm still up for the task, but oof. Maybe a conversion ritual is in order once we have a ritual room. Yoda is he is a mixed dog. He's a Maltese Poodle Italian Greyhound mix. Just a fancy mutt. So almost have all of our stuff hauled away. It's still deteriorating because it's considered outdoors. So I think what I'm going to do is plan a barrier wall here, or border wall, and then one here as well, putting a door in there. But the door is only going to be able to get to the prayer area, meaning that I'm going to have to reposition a lot of these bedrooms. AKA, these bedrooms are going to suck for a bit. So Graham can just shrink. I'm not really sure what to do about Graham just yet. Yeah, I guess I could just shrink that room down. She's going to complain about her accommodations no matter what I do, so... Okay. Can I use her to help convert the prisoner faster? Yes, I can try to do a convert. She'll resent it, but it did work for an extra 4%. It's not much, but it's something. And then that also means that, like, Tati's bedroom is going to have to change positions. All these bedrooms were they were laid out temporarily, and I'm sure they're going to change time and time again, just to get them in the sweet spot. Still waiting on that kitchen. It's clean, but it just needs to get set up better. Oh, a heat wave. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. I think, before I forget, Fluff I might need to put into Fluff's own little work area or bedroom area, because the problem with the heat wave is Fluff's gonna have some health problems pretty soon as a result of it. And because that area is not enclosed, it's going to be challenging to keep it temperate. Tati, you have a lot of work. A lot of work to do. The rice does deteriorate outside. In fact, it all has died since. So I'm going to start to do the corn plants now. Even though I was super hauling because I didn't micromanage it, it did die off. There's just a few more weapons to haul away. And then we'll be back to normal. And it's meditation hour. Work drive is on cooldown, yes. Alright, the external temperature is definitely too high for Fluff to live, I think. Actually, yep, definitely too high. So, Fluff, you are gonna get your own little cubbyhole. Very low-tech solution here. So let's get the passive coolers made. It also wouldn't be a bad idea for me to get shade cones, so that my own people don't start to get too hot and harmed by it. Because the work speed in the research room is going to be terrible as a result. And then the work speed, you know, everything is just going to suck for a bit. Yep. The wild animals are migrating away. But the prisoners are going to be comfortable. Except for Graham. So I have to keep an eye on Graham. Heat stroke is already starting to build up. Adios, Thrumbos. Yeah, the Thrumbos are going to leave. There'll be more opportunities to get Thrumbos. I'm not too concerned. It's not my priority right now, so I'm not making any effort to prioritize it. I work on what's above, well, my head now, not Yoda's head. Anyone that has watched the channel for even just a few minutes knows priorities are sacrosanct, and everything else is secondary. Yeah, it's a pretty hot heat wave. It's pretty brutal. Those high temps are nothing to be scoffed at. Now, because we do have a prison cell in Fluff's bedroom at comfortable temperatures, we have spots that we can go to cool down, so it isn't a risk to our health, in other words. What is the temperature range? Well, it is summer. So the max temperature range in summer typically is only about 30°C, but the heat wave is kicking up an extra 15 or so. A little bit more than 15. For electricity research, we are a sixth of the way there. Now I'm trying to cool off the research room so that we can keep researching at sort of a normal rate. Moving the stone cutter. And there we go. Now Tati's doing things that I want her to be doing. We are starting to get some heat stroke, so let me go ahead and work on those shade cones. 4 shade cones, and we'll make them out of plain leathers. Probably fine. Because we're tribal only, we can't even use dusters. So it's a little challenging. Oh, Graham's up and walking around. Well, I probably shouldn't have spoke too soon. So she has an extreme temperature in there. So Tati, you wear the shade cone, and then you make a passive cooler because she's going to die otherwise. Don't worry, she'll be fine now. She just got a little hot. Everyone's hanging out there now because it's colder. I'm going to do a little bit of priority deconstruction here so that we can move about the area a little bit more easily. And then let's get some more shade cones so that we can work quicker. So I'll start to force wear. Because this protects us up to 44°C, which is probably enough that we're not going to have heat strokes. And then Lady Shell is the person who least needs it because she's in a somewhat cooler environment. Graham's still wearing a parka for whatever reason. There we go. Shade cones are made. And the holding wall around the tree is just about done. One big question I have for all of you is who becomes a Psycaster first? Judea, Lady Shell, Zilla, Tati. So in terms of traits, the only one that has a trait that makes them better at psychcasting would be Lady Shell with her psychically hypersensitive. She would have a greater pool for psychcasting, but that doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be her opposed to someone else. It's just, I wanted to point that out. Everyone else does not have dull or sensitive traits to, for lack of a better term, the Force. Okay, finally getting our deadfall traps reconstructed, which is nice. And I know I'm sort of behind on tasks, but we had a lot of sort of side things to do, aka mostly just dealing with the prisoners. Oh, speaking of prisoners, let's unsuspend that simple meal and then queue up some additional hunting, because looks like we are simply out of meat. There are not a lot of animals nearby. Much thanks to the heat wave. The capybara are way too far away to bother hunting. Same with the elephants. God, everything is in the southwest corner. That makes it brutal. And those are really the only animals So maybe I'll do a group hunt with the capybara, sending my 3 shooters down here just to clean up the capybara, and then haul 3 of them back up north. Because I don't really want to get in a fight with the elephants in case I piss off the whole herd. I don't want to get stomped to death. Sounds like a bad time. End of grass number is at 10. 10.7. In terms of everybody else, I'm going to allow them to dip into the pemmican. Shuttle has arrived for Fluff. Oh, good. We're going to get that great bow. So let's not refuel that. Turn that into a hospital bedroom. And Pod has arrived the great bow, and that's going to go to Zilla, but only after Judea makes it look cool. Which is a lot of walking. I'll be fixing that soon. All right, shooters. Can colonists trigger deadfall traps? They can. You can absolutely die from one if you're not careful. Which is why I have the doors that I have set up so that we can gain access to each trap through a door. So this one through the north, these 2 through that door, these 2 through this door, these 2 through this door, this one from the west, and this one from the starter door. Because there's a small chance that it kills you, but greater than small chance that you trigger it and it takes an eyeball out or an ear off or something like that. That's very common. All right. Hyper-efficient hunting is done. Or legs, or arms. Yeah, I mean, it could do a lot more damage than just an eye or an ear. Typically, it's an eye or an ear. Typically it's your head. Sometimes it cuts off your neck. TLDR, don't let it happen to you, because it's no bueno. So these guys are here for only 2 more days, and then I'm not going to have to accommodate so many people, which is going to be nice. All right, Tati has just about fully enclosed this thing, and then we'll start to get our kitchen in here once the chunks are moved out. Hey, Psychic Soothe, I'll take that. It's getting dirty. Am I planning on growing that dragon plant in the mountain? No, I was actually, they're not specifically dragon plants, so I was going to grow it outside. Because it's not, it's useful for other things as well. It's just a jeweled orchid, not something specific to dragons. All right, Tati, let's get ready for the kitchen, shall we? So if our kitchen is being moved, that means Zilla, you are going to move your kitchen stove down here. And then I'm going to copy the zones because I'm, lazy. So we have kitchen veg, meat, tea, meals, general storage. I also think it wouldn't be a terrible idea to move the butchery in here as well. But I'm only going to bother moving the butchery once we have a freezer, because there's not really an advantage to do it otherwise. So, copy the name, delete, and paste the name. Oh, right, delete the zone. And then meals. Oops. Done. Thank you for tuning in to Dragon's Prophecy, which originally streamed live on Twitch September 25th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel. I'll catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Dragon Ratter.